Welcome back to Good Day Big Bear. Thanks for staying tuned with us. This is Dan Bathurst.
Good morning, John. How are you today, sir?
Unbelievable.
I know you are. You're always unbelievable.
Hey, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Not yet.
Not yet?
It's not close
Dan,
enough yet.
Dan.
I'm the last minute guy.
Well, this is it.
This is the last minute.
This is it. You got, what, you got about 36 hours
Everything
left.
I do, I have to confirm with my wife, so I make sure that I run it by her first before I ever open my mouth. It's usually just to change feet. So,
Dan Bathurst, owner of Exit Realty, who's you guys have made a few very interesting shifts
Yes, we
this
have.
year in your business plan.
yes, that has definitely been a big move in the year. So we're doing well. We're gearing ourselves more towards the investment world, dealing with investors. We're a firm believer that Big Bear is definitely going to be a good investment priority for people in the future here in Southern California, so and all over the United States. So we're gearing ourselves up to bring people into the community and start looking at the investment world. So.
Well, it kind of always has been.
Yes,
Because it started off as that summer retreat, and then the campsites,
Absolutely.
and then and there's what, we're capped out at somewhere in the neighborhood of 32,000 dwelling units here.
Yes,
Because we're surrounded by national forest.
Exactly.
It only gets so big.
it can only
So
grow so
limited
far.
supply
That's
and
it.
increasing demand. That makes good.
Like to
for
see it
good-
go back to tearing them down and rebuilding new ones. You know?
Well, I don't think everybody agrees with you.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
Like
but,
those
you
little
know,
cabins
growth
and
and
stuff.
growth. Yeah,
there,
we love
but-
all those. You know,
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I love that part of it. You know, that's what keeps us all going. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
We're
just add some
I was
insulation.
just talking to Mr. Milner about bringing back the Old Miners Week and getting everybody back involved in that again. And
Yeah.
I'd really love to see that happen too.
Yeah,
you
very
know,
nice.
so we need to support that again too.
Okay. So what's our year-end wrap-up here?
Well, our year-end wrap-up in the residential line is we've sold 823 as of 12/21.
Okay,
So
that's
that's
just a
based
week
on
shy,
a little week shy, but we are turning around. We closed another 20 escrows this week,
Wow.
so we are keeping a steady pace on 20 a week. So, you know, that's an improvement over where we've been.
And last week you mentioned that, because I was thinking that was like maybe a 6-month backlog on escrows. But some of those escrows are only 15 to 30 days old.
Yeah, and it just depends. Well, what's happening is you're getting a lot of cash buyers right now, and they're jumping on
That's
that.
a lot of your investor type, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
The
okay.
investors are coming in. You know, I was just looking at the paper this morning and looking at the trustee notices, and there's 34 of those in the paper, and every week you're seeing more and more. So those people are turning to rentals, and so the investors are moving in, buying up those properties long term. So in the interim of that, they're giving those people rentals and giving a good investment base for everybody. So
Okay.
that's where
Over the
we're
year,
at.
what was our average price on a house?
Average price on a house was $224,000 was the average. It
224.
ranged between 224 and 250. So it has been dropping. We're 6,000 less than we were a month ago. So it's still dropping. We figure probably another. By the end of 2012, the stats are showing that by Zillow and The Economist, they reviewed over 100 economists, and they're saying that by the end of 2012, we'll start seeing some sort of a turnaround and a little bit of an increase in the
By the end of 2000.
by the end of 2000.
This is the buyer's market right now.
This is the buyer's market now.
Okay.
It's a great opportunity for everybody, especially first-time buyers.
Now, I noticed following the stuff, there were some things that would come on the market and they're gone in like a week. And then there's others that are on there for quite some time.
Well, you have to understand that as realtors, our job is, you know, we basically stay in touch with a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there looking at that lower end market. So the lower end market, we all have a portfolio of people that we contact immediately.
When I get this, call me.
Absolutely, and they're ready to jump, and most of those people have cash in their pocket and they're ready to go. They don't have to wait for the approval. They don't have to go through the bank. So they're sitting on their money and they're ready to invest.
Does that mean that somebody that does need to make a down payment and finance a house, they couldn't really get into the investment side of this? They couldn't pick up just one little second home to have
Oh,
as
not
a
at
rental
all.
for?
Not at all. There's a lot of opportunity out there in the lending market right now. Of course,
is.
everybody has to change, you know. So
Right.
the lenders are changing their their way of qualifying people right now. So we are getting better programs. You know, that's.
You mean they're actually qualifying people?
There are actually qualifying people. I know. It's been a real.
I'm
It's
sorry.
been a real
I
tough
couldn't-
time
I
in this
couldn't- I
business.
couldn't-
You know,
couldn't resist
there's a
that
lot
way.
of there are a lot of great agents in this valley. You know, and we all hold the same amount of frustration. You know, is the idea that you get clients. The lenders have really been tight, and you know, in some cases, you have to think about it. If the market is declining, lenders are going to be tight. They're not going to reinvest their money into a declining market as well. So to qualify is a little stronger, but there are also people out there with money that have just been waiting for things to taper off a little bit, which it's doing now.
Right.
We're getting a little better on that low end. It's, you know, if you guess wrong, you don't have far to fall. On the higher end, you know it's a little
Right.
bigger risk and a little tougher opportunity. So
Yeah, 10% variable in a $80,000 home isn't a lot.
Isn't a lot.
On a
When you
$8
look
million
at-
home, it's a big lot.
That's exactly correct. And that's what's holding people back.
Sure.
And so those investments on that low end, those will also keep that profit margin coming back in where it's in a reasonable rent range where they can invest in that property, turn right around and rent it. So it's a good program.
All right. And you mentioned foreclosures a couple of times. What do our stats look like on that? For
Our
the year?
stats on foreclosures, we've done on short sale and foreclosure both 406 for the year. And
Is that part of that 800 number
no, it's
on
not.
the residential? So
No.
it's total like 1,200 sales.
Exactly.
Okay.
So and you include these when you look at this. That's a cross property stat. You have a difference. We were just talking about time on the market. You've got 118 days on the market for your residentials. You've got 101 days on the market for your short sale and
Those are
foreclosures.
averages, of course.
And then you look at your lots and your property, and they're over 200 days on the market because that's a slow going. There's not a lot of money out there for people to
Hard to
build
buy
on.
a lot and then rent it next month.
Well, yeah, not only that, you can buy a house right now cheaper than you can build one. So
Yes,
that doesn't make sense to go out.
How many
and do
lots
that,
did we
so.
sell last year?
62.
62
And
total.
and those were mostly large properties. So the average property sold last year was about 14,000 square foot.
What?
So,
Okay.
so that's a
So
good
not a lot
size
of your
property.
2,500 square
and,
foot
and
lots.
so, no, and not a lot. And then you know, at maybe some point we can go into what it takes to build on a smaller lot right
Sure.
now. And there's a lot of restrictions in that, especially in the Baldwin Lake area and things. So people just aren't interested in doing that when you can purchase a home cheaper than you
Sure.
can build
Okay.
one. So.
For a first-time investor, not buying my primary home, I'm looking to buy something to maybe use occasionally for the family, rent it out a little bit, or maybe even a full-time rental. One key thought for going into the new year.
Well, I would say that you need to get linked up with somebody that's going to be able to guide you into that program and be able to give you the information that you need that is going to help you make that decision. There's not a lot of people out there that can do that. Exit is really focused on that. I'm sure that there are other people, but if you even try to find that on a website, it's virtually not there. So we are focused on that, and we can give you the data to do it. And that's one thing you need to do is do your research. I recommend that to everybody, and we can do that for you immediately.
Very good. Dan Bathurst with Exit Realty. Phone number is?
909-878-0522.
He was ready. And the website is?
BigBearDan2@yahoo.com.
No, that's your email.
That's
I
my
got
email.
it.
I'm sorry.
I got it.
ExitRealtyBigBear.net.
.net. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next year, Dan.
Sorry,
Don't
it catches
go
me
anywhere.
every
We'll
time.
be right back with a little magic for you this New Year's.